Okay, again, some of the problems that I've been having with bringing files in to the school version is, of course, that this is what 9.1, and I guess I'm using 9.2. So it looks like to fix that problem, what did I do? We clicked there. Is that what we did? And then we were here, and then we changed it to. Oh, I guess. Oh, there it is. Oh, this one. iOS development target 9.1 right here. So if you have errors with a little exclamation point, maybe that would fix it for you. Okay, let's deconstruct what this file is giving us here. I'm going to go back to the main storyboard, and I'm going to kind of talk from chapter 30. So I'm assuming that we could get up past chapter 29. Again, chapter 29 made you had you build a basic table structure. It took me 4 times to go through. I made some mistakes and I had to go back, and I couldn't go back in time because there was no save as, so I actually had to do it like 4 times to make chapter 29 work. But I did get it to work. Okay, after I got it to work, I went on to chapter 30, and let's read from chapter 30. The first thing that they want you to do, and we can, I don't know if I should remove all this stuff and start. I guess I could, because I couldn't go back in time. I was struggling to go back in time. So let me see if I can remove all this. Let me save. Okay. I'm going to remove this stuff so I can show you how to put it in. Okay. So I removed that. So I'm going to go from chapter 30. So again, if we simulated this right now, it probably should just give us a list. Or it could be broken. Yeah, because I deleted this stuff. Let's just move on. Again, on chapter 30 in the book, they talk about the navigation or controller. The navigation-based application presents a hierarchical approach to disabling or displaying information to the user. Such applications typically take the form of a navigational bar and a series of table views. Selecting an item from the table list causes the view associated with that selection to be displayed. The navigational bar will display a title corresponding to the currently displayed view together with a button that returns the user to the previous menu when selected. For example, the concept of action, spending some time using the iPhone, mail, or music. So again, after you make a list, you can click on it and it'll go to the page like we already talked about. So in chapter 30, the first thing they want you to do is add a new view controller to our storyboard. So you have to make some more programming files. Then the navigational controller. Then telling the navigational controller where you want it to go, and it should work. So let me just go through that. So what I'm assuming is that you could get at least through chapter 29. I don't have a clean version of chapter 29 to give you. I don't think so. Let me look at the one I have on my desktop. Let me look at that real quick. The one that's on my desktop. Does this one work? Again, I'm having the same problem with this one. Whoosh. Hold on. Close. Get the wheel of fortune. Okay, let me see if this is a clean one. No.
So change the device to.
Oh. No, I don't think I finished this one last class. Oh, maybe. Something's happening. Okay. This is the one from the book. Looks like it's chapter 29. It looks like it's clean. So I'm going to go start from this spot right here. And then I will go from here. So again, one of the problems with the book example, notice at the very top, the button goes all the way to the top. The other problem with this one is the photos are all different sizes, right? So I'm going to start from here. Let me take this one and save it. Won't let me save. Save it. No. Why won't let me save? Save. Okay. I can't save. Save. No. Save. I guess it's already saved. Hold on. So I'll put on Angel a version that is a complete, looks like a complete version of 29. So again, on Angel I put the one that I just showed you, kind of a starting point from chapter 29, and I'm going to go from here to chapter 30. Okay? So if you want to start from this spot, you can. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so let me go back. Hopefully this is a clean version of 29. Desktop. Okay, so if we look at the main storyboard, right now all we have is just one table view. So on page 213 in the book, they talk about adding a controller bar. And so to make this a little bit more interesting, I wanted it to be a little bit more than just the Buckingham Palace photos and stuff. So I wanted it to make a national park. So if I look at the Swift file, you'll notice that they have, this is what chapter 29 went over. You have three strings, right? You have three strings. You have one attraction image, that's for the images, right here. Then you have attraction names, that's the name of the files. And then they have web addresses, and this is the web addresses. So to make my own example, I basically got rid of this stuff and put my own stuff in there. To look at the pictures that they have given us, if we go over here to where it says the assets, you will see that you imported the pictures that were here. The problem is each one of the pictures are different sizes, right? They're all kind of, Eiffel Tower is tall and skinny, and the Buckingham Palace is wide. And so what I went and did was I downloaded some pictures of Pinnacles National Park. I went into Photoshop and I made them all 200 by 200 pixels, and I saved them and imported those into the file to do this. So in order to do that, I went to the internet. I went to make my own version, and I sent you a Word doc with all the things that I did. So if I go to Google, you can go to Pinnacles National Park, and I went to images, and here's all the images that you can download. I went to, let's say, this one, I like this picture. Great picture. Make a perfect picture for my project. Again, I want to make each one of the pictures the same size, square, that you saw in the navigational bar. So this is how I did it. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to do one so that you know how to make each page the right size. I use Photoshop to make them all the correct dimensions. So in order to do that, what I did was I right-clicked on my picture and I said copy image. I opened up Photoshop. So after you copy an image, you can go into Photoshop and say, what's the wheel is turning. You can say File New. File New. And then hit OK. Don't change anything. I'm just going to hit OK. And then I'm going to paste. I'm going to paste Command V. And I copied from the internet and put right into Photoshop. So that's how you can get a picture right into Photoshop very easily. Again, if you go and you find a picture on the internet, you find a picture like this, an easy way to get it right into Photoshop without having to save it, and so on, is you can right click on it, copy image, you can go over to Photoshop, and you say File New in Photoshop. It knows what you copied, so it gives you the right dimensions, and then you can hit OK, and then paste, and then paste. Okay, and it brings the picture in that you are using. Then I wanted to make them all the same size, so I made them all 200 by 200 pixels. Then when I was inside of Xcode, I made the window itself, the box for the image, 100 by 100 pixels. So I actually took the image and it's going to be shrunk down a little bit, but that's okay. At least it's a little higher resolution. So again, I'm going to make this picture 200 by 200 pixels. To do that, easiest way to do it is so it's not squished, because if I just go and make it 200 by 200, this is not in the correct proportions. This is not square. To do that in Photoshop, I use the crop tool. Okay, the crop tool in Photoshop, and you can put in either 2 to 2 if you want, or 1 to 1. I just want it to be square because it's going to be a ratio. If you don't want a ratio, you can actually put in a size. They don't really have sizes anymore, do they? In the old versions of Photoshop, you could just type in 200 pixels by 200 pixels and it would do it. But now Photoshop is all about ratios now. So if you want a 1 by 1 thing, it's going to be square. So again, this is the crop tool. I put in 1 by 1 to make it square, and then I click on the move tool when I'm done. It's going to ask you if you want to crop it. I say crop, and it makes it square. Now how do I make this 200 by 200 pixels then? Well, you need to do that in the image size option. To do that in the image size option is under image, image size, and I can then type in my pixels, change the dimensions to pixels, and I can type in 200 by 200 pixels, and I can hit save or OK. Now it's 200 by 200 pixels. Again, let me refresh. I copied and pasted from the internet into Photoshop. Once it was in Photoshop, I used the crop tool to make it square by using 1 to 1 ratio. Draw a box, or it'll have it. Click the move tool. It'll ask you if you want to crop it. You say crop. When you're done doing that, you go underneath image, image size, and I can put 200 by 200 right there and hit OK, and you'll have your basically square image. So I'm going to save that as a JPEG, and I'm going to put it in my folder with my other stuff. Make sure it's a JPEG format, and this is going to be Pinnacle 1, whatever. So I did that same step with 5 pictures, and I saved them all. So I'm going to go back to Xcode now. Once I was in Xcode, again, you need to bring the pictures in just like you brought in the Buckingham Palace, Eiffel Tower, and all that. Again, the pictures are stored in the assets folder right here. If I right click in here, I can say import, and I can import that picture that I just made. There it is. Okay, so it's inside of Xcode now. If I go back to the main storyboard, you'll notice this is where I'm left off with of chapter 29. So what I did to make it a little bit more interesting, of course, is make it my own. How I made it my own was, of course, I made my own pictures like you just saw me. I'm going to go over here where the image is right here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So make sure I'm zoomed in to change this. I'm going to change some of these settings before I start. I'm going to click on the image viewer right here. And in the image viewer, if I wanted this to be a square image viewer, okay, I can actually go over here. When I select the image viewer, I can go over here where it says mode over here in the view. So again, I'm using the image viewer. I'm going to make it square. I'm going to go to the image viewer. I can actually drag it if you want. And as you drag it, you can see you get the dimensions. See how it says width and height? Do you see that? Width and height. I can then go and make it 100 by 100 pixels. So I made it 100 by 100 pixels right here. So again, to do the example that I was doing, I made sure each of the pictures were the same dimensions. Then I went and I gave the box there. And then I changed the mode right here. See where it says mode? Again, here, here, here. And I changed it to, what did I change it to? I think I said aspect fit. It's like an environment view layout content is bound to change. No, aspect fill. Okay, I think this is the right one, aspect fill. And so it'll take the picture and fill it into that box. So I changed that. Then I went and I want to change some of the programming so I see at least one of my photos show up. So in order to, again, make this look like it's from Pinnacle National Park, I went into the programming file, the Swift file, where we did all the programming, and I'm going to add Pinnacles here. Pinnacles. P-A-C-L-E-S. Pinnacles National or Park. Link. Then in here, I actually went and I'm not going to change that right now. But here's where I gave it the link. Remember, I called it Pinnacles 1, I think is what I called it. What did I call it? P-I-N-N-C-A-L-E 1.jpg. So in the programming, instead of using Buckingham Palace, P-I-N-N, type P-I-N-N-C-A-L-E 1. JPEG is already there. Is that what I called it? P-I-N-N-C-A-L-E 1. P-I-N-N-C-A-L-E 1.jpg. So again, you can change from chapter 29 all the stuff, you know, all these things in this string are just things that are made up, and you can make your own version of this. And so if I save it and I play it, hopefully it's coming. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Maybe. But again, you can just see your image is in here now, right? Okay, so you can make your own images. You don't have to rely on the stuff that comes from the book. That was the whole point of this all. And you'll notice it's square. So the problems that I'm running into right now is that most likely this is not in the right ratio. I would probably have to go and put some more constraints in there so that it actually is correct here. And make it 100 by 100. How about that? Get some error messages. Probably didn't have to do this one. Probably didn't have to do that one. Okay. Maybe that'll work better. I'm going to move on. So again, you saw how I brought that in. So let's start with chapter 30 now. But you see how to make it your own, right? You see how you can make your own pictures. You can save them. Again, all you do is you put them in your assets, and in the same programming file here, you can add your own files, your own links. Okay, in chapter 30, the first thing that they do is they bring in a new scene to the storyboard. So the first thing they want you to do is make some controllers. To do that, I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. To make some new controllers is under File, New, File. I'm on the bottom of page 213. I'm going to make a new Coca Touch class. This time they want to use the UI View Controller. So I'm going to change this right here to UI View Controller. If I can find it. There it is. So again, I'm at the bottom of page 213. The UI View Controller. And then let's give it a name. And they call it Attraction Detail View Controller. So I'm going to call it Attraction Detail View Controller. And again, it's a UI View Controller, Attraction Detail View Controller, and I hit Next. It's going to ask me to save it. I'm going to save it in the same folder. And it gave me a new Swift file. Again, this is a new Swift file for that. Next, you want to bring in a new view controller to attach this to it. So in this case, you go back to the main storyboard file, and we need to make another view controller. Again, down here you should have the view controller option. I'm at the top of page 214. So I'm going to take a view controller and I'm going to drag it onto the screen, just like we did from before when we were making multiple scenes. Then we need to attach the programming to it. So again, you want to show the identity inspector. So if you don't see that, you can go under View, Utilities, Show Identity Inspector. And they want you to change the class to what we just made. Remember we just made that? And it's going to be up here in Attraction Detail View Controller. Again, it's this option. So again, I have this box, the one I just dragged on. I added a new view controller, and the new Swift file that I just made, I attached it, and that's what's at the top of page 214. Next, on the bottom of page 214, you have to add the navigational controller. That was the first thing I talked about at the beginning of class today when we were talking about making the navigation bar so that when the person pushes the button, it goes to the new view controller. So to do that, we're going to go and click on, I believe, this first. Hold on. So yeah, I'm going to select this one, the first one, and I'm going to go to the Xcode editor and say embed navigation or controller. So it's under editor, embed in, and we're going to say navigation or controller. And it puts a new box. So you should have 3 boxes. 3 boxes. You have one navigational controller that goes to the table view, and then from the table view it'll go to the attraction detail. First thing we need to do is attach a segue, and remember the segue is where it goes from one window to the other. This is on the bottom of page 214. So when the user selects a row within the table view, a segue needs to be triggered to display the attraction detail view controller. In order to establish the segue, you need to control-click on the prototype cell located in attraction table view controller scene and drag the resulting line to the attraction detail view controller scene. So here we go. How we do that, again, is we're going to select this box right here. If I can, there we go. No, I want this box to be highlighted. There we go. You can click here, attraction table cell. See it right here where it says attraction table cell right there. And you want this little dot. See the little dot that I have right here? Little dot right there. So I can then control click or right click on here and drag over here. And maybe that didn't work. Hold on. Show option resulting menu. I didn't do a segue. Maybe let me select this again. This was a part that you want to control click on the prototype cell located in attraction table view controller scene and drag the resulting attraction detail view controller scene. Maybe it's cell here. No, that's a label. I don't want that. Oh, maybe I have to have the whole thing selected up here. Hold on. No, no, no. Let me try this. No. Click on the prototype cell located in the attraction table view. This is the prototype cell. I got it to work. I know it did. Oh, now I can't reach the other one. Damn. Let's try again. Don't have enough room. Hold on, I have to make some room. There we go. Let's try again. No. There's got to be a way I did this. There we go. I don't know. Now it's going to work. So again, I don't know. I clicked kind of right above the label with the right mouse click and I dragged. And it's going to bring up the segue option. In the segue option, you want to change it to show. And you should have a segue connection between them. This is the segue connection right there. What's that?
Right above the label, it's like it still doesn't.
I don't know. It took me multiple times to get it to work. It'll turn blue when you're going from one to the other. I can undo that and try again. Again, I don't know. There's some way you need to make this connection from the cell here to this new view controller. I don't know. I kind of clicked here, and now it's not working. It did at one time look like it worked. So I don't know. I could go multiple times. Again, I just
Oh, I got it.
somehow you can click here. It didn't work that time. That time it worked. So I don't know. It's just the way it works. Okay, so you're making a connection. So when they click on the button, it goes to this scene right here. It's basically what it's doing. Once you have it over here, I'm going to click over here in this window, making sure this is blue over here in this window over here. And I'm going to go to the attributes, okay? And you can get to the attributes by going under View, Utilities, Show Attributes, Inspector. So View, Utilities, Attributes, Inspector. And you want to change the name here to Show Attractions Detail. Show Attractions Details. Again, I was able to make sure this is selected over here, and it's underneath the editor, or no, what was it? View, utilities, show attribute inspector, and then I changed it right here to this. Right, I made a mistake. I needed to select the segue. Click on the segue connection. That was a mistake. I made a mistake. Yes, I've been making mistakes. Let me go back in time. They want you to click on the segue. This is the segue right here. Then go underneath the View, Utilities, Attributes Inspector, and change the what? Change the view, show attributes, and change the identifier value, this one right there, to show attributes show attraction detail. So I made a mistake there. Details with an S. So again, this is the segue right here. In addition, a toolbar should have been appeared in both scenes. Double-clicking in the center of the attraction will so a toolbar should have shown up here, and let me see, show attractions detail. In addition, a toolbar should have appeared in both scenes. Double-click on the center of the Attractions table View Controller toolbar and change the title to Attractions. So again, in addition, a toolbar should have appeared in both scenes. Double-click on the center of the Attractions table and change the label. I must have did this wrong, and I can't go back in time. I'm gonna go back and go back in time. Okay, let me start again. I'm on, again, page 214. When the user selects a row within the table, a segue needs to be triggered to display the Attraction Detail View Controller. In order to establish the segue, control-click on the prototype cell located in Attraction Table View and Scene and drag the resulting Attraction Detail View Controller scene. So again, how did I do that? It was somewhere right here. No? and then we said show, right? Show. Click on the segue. Connection between the attraction view controller and attraction detail view controller. Display the attributes inspector. This is the attributes here. Change the identifier to show attraction detail. Show attraction details. Like that. I did that right, didn't I? And then there's an animation. In addition, a toolbar should have appeared in both scenes. And I don't see a toolbar. I need to zoom out maybe. Oh. A toolbar, which is this one at the top up here. In addition, a toolbar should have appeared in both scenes. Double-click on the center of the Attractions Table View Controller toolbar and change the title to Attractions. I don't know. I was able to do that. In addition, a toolbar should have appeared in both scenes. Double-click in the center of the Attraction Table View Controller. This is, let me zoom out. This is the Attractions Table View. Oh, here, this one. Should have showed up here. This is where it was, up here. Right there. There it is. Jeez. And type in attractions right here. Attractions. So again, it showed up here. Attractions. That was in the top of page 215. Then you should be able to change the label on this side over here. I don't know, you have to click in the center up here somewhere. It's not very easy. I don't know. I don't know. I was able to find it over here. There it is, right up here. You should be able to change it. And it should have put it over here. And I don't know why it won't let me change it. It's okay. Let's move on. So basically this example then goes over how to attach the web address. I don't know why I'm not getting this up here. But if you look at the one I made, the last one I made, why it didn't open this project right. Hold on, let me try and open my original one. No, I deleted that stuff, didn't I? Hold on. the one I downloaded off the internet. Let me go back to that one. No. How many is it going to open? Hold on, let me fix it back. Where was the other one at? Okay, let's, oh, Jesus. We gotta change this back to, okay. Let's run this one real quick. Again, if you click here, it'll give you this details page. If you hit back, it'll go back. So, if you looked at the storyboard for this one, the one that actually works, for some reason, I don't know why it's not working, but there should be a way to change the title up here. And that's where I got stuck in the book. I don't know. Somewhere between 214 and when I make that connection, for some reason it wasn't giving me this details here, and I'm not sure which one. You know, it takes me 4 or 5 times to actually get anything to work doing that. It's not straightforward. But once I was able to add this details up here, the next thing they talk about is adding the some code so that you can have a string for a web page. So in this case, we added a web view right here. So if you get to that point where you can add the title up here, again the segue goes from here to here. I don't know how I got it to work, but I was able to get it to go from here to here. And I got a label at the top up here. Then the next step would be to put in the web. There's actually a web. If you type in web there's a web view content display right here. And that is where you can drag a web page. And it drags a web page in there. And then the next thing you need to do after you drag the web viewer in here is to make the window as big as the screen. Once you make it as big as the screen, and that's at the bottom of page 215 there, they talk about making a programming file. This one. And then adding this programming right here. Variable website string. Do you see it right here? That's at the bottom of page 215. Then you need to make the connection between this Swift file and the following file. Okay, let me go over the last thing. Okay, do you think you can do chapter 30 by yourself or not? You're just going to have to try. I went through and did all the programming for it. I don't know, you have to go through 29, then 30. It took me 4 or 5 times to do it, to make it work. But I want you to try and make your own example. You saw me change the photo size, right? So here's a problem. The last problem that you're going to run into trying this is that it won't let you, again, go to a website that is not secure. So what you need to do is actually change this file right here. If you have a link, again, let's look at the links real quick. If you look at the links, the website links, you'll notice that these website links aren't secure. See, this is a link to Pinnacles, right? Link to Pinnacles. Notice there's no S there, so it's not secure. So Xcode won't let you do that. So what I had to do to make it work was this file right here is an XML file. Okay, an XML file is this file right here. It's an XML file. So you have to take that XML file and open it in a text editor. So open it in, I don't know, let's open it in text edit. And then you have to add these 5 lines right there. And by adding those 5 lines, it'll allow you to run web pages that are not secure. You can copy from my example right here. Again, these lines right here need to be added. And again, this is an XML file. So there's an XML file that's controlling this right here. So can you practice and try chapter 30? Maybe start from the example I gave you, chapter 29. I put it on the server. You just need to maybe start from there, change the images, and then change the code. I mean, basically all you're doing is changing these things. This stuff right here. I don't know what to say. You're just going to have to try. What do you think, Ralph?
Oh, sorry, I was actually looking at the version control, how to do the save as.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was figuring that out, and I found out what happened, so.
Well, how do I...
so, once you're done, I can tell them.
I'm done.
Okay.
How do I fix that?
So originally with Xcode, they had something called a snapshot, which was really cool because what you can do is you can say create snapshot, and it saved a copy of your project, and then you can just go back to that copy. Like you can make a whole bunch of changes to your code, and then you can go back to that copy later on by just loading up that snapshot. Snapshot actually is what, well, not snapshot. Snapshot. So the problem is Apple does these things where they'll have a great feature in there and then they'll take it away. And it's really annoying. But so snapshots is no longer part of Xcode 7. So you can't do version control that way. The way that they're doing it now is actually a more powerful way. And I don't know, Jeff, do you want me to
I don't know. This is a way to save different versions? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, it's a way to save.
Yeah, I would love to learn how to save multiple versions.
Yeah, but it's kind of a lengthy discussion. It's not
can
just
do it next
something-
week if you
yeah.
want.
Yeah, if you want, I can show you guys on Wednesday how to do it. Are you guys familiar with something called GitHub?
With what?
GitHub?
Yeah. A little bit.
Let's see. Well, like I said, GitHub is essentially this thing where if you have a whole bunch of people working on a program, right? Because usually you're not just one person working on a program, you'll have a team working on a program. If you have a whole bunch of people working on a program, what happens is everybody makes these changes and they push it to something called repository on GitHub, and people will see all the changes everybody's been making, and then you can merge the changes